All right, what's up everybody? So I'm going to continue on my Python end screen script that I have and kind of add a little more features to it. At least in this video, my goal is to add the ability to automatically add a description to all of your videos. So what I do is I upload a lot of clips from my PS5, and from YouTube Studio, you can have a like a template for your description that would look something like this. So all your videos would get this description to try to attract more attention to your channel. But I can't, if I upload it from my PS5, then it doesn't do this. It's not going to take that template. It's only when you do it from YouTube Studio. So I already have a script that automates the end screens. Might as well have one that automatically copies and pastes the description into that description field before it saves it. So we'll start off, I'll just show the basics of how it works already. So we're going to run this Python script, and with the parameter of 2, and it's going to be my latest 2 videos are going to get the update of the end screen. And if you watch one of my other videos, my first video that I have on this channel, you'll see the like how it's done in a little more detail. I'm just gonna launch it up here now, let it run through. One of the latest videos is an NBA 2K25 video. I didn't get NBA 2K26. I mean, they don't change the game that much year to year, and we don't play 24/7, so it's hard to kind of keep pace with people that do play 24/7. Like I have a full-time job, and do other things as well. But yeah, it's been a little more competitive now that 2K26 is out. But yeah, see how we added the end screen. And what I'm going to do is just from here anyway, what I typically do is I wanted to click on this description box at some point and copy and paste the text. So I need to know what is this description box. If you right click, you can go to inspect, and it'll give me the XPath to it. I don't think that worked as well as I wanted. Let me try this again. So we'll do, now that we have this open, inspect. All right, so there it is right there. And I can right click again, do copy XPath. And honestly, I actually did this a little bit before my first attempt at this video, but I have it right here. So this is the full description. So I'm going to copy, I already have a copy anyway, but all right, so we're going to take this and we're going to put this into my Python script. So let's go over here. Let me find, if I scroll down to where I have basically all the other XPaths, I'm going to put it right here in the edit page. So it's going to go right here. We'll call it XPath, edit, description, equals, and Control V. And I already know this is going to be I already have the base string already in one of these. I believe it's this one here. So we'll see if we were to highlight this, you can see it's the same thing up into the animatable tab right here. That's the same string. So if I get rid of this, and we're just going to add that base to it here. So take this right here, copy it into here, and then we have the the full XPath to that description field. So now if I look up when my script gets to the point where it's trying to edit the video, so each it's going to go through every video, but for each one is the video at that index. Before we click on the not for kids button, we're basically going to put it right here. So we'll say copy and paste the text in the description.txt file. So you'll be able to modify this file to your liking there. And then we're just going to call, very similar to how we have the add end screens, we're going to call this update description. And on that, ultimately I'm going to probably have a parameter. You may not always want to change the description of your videos. Maybe you want a different description. So I'm going to add a parameter. But for this video right now, I'm just going to have it at least copy and paste the text that's in this file here. All right, so once we call that, so now we got to define that. So let me define this. And I'm going to put it right above this over here. So we're going to go to definition. And then right above this, we're going to define that function, add the colon. And we will just have it click on it right now. So see how this is saying, click on button from the XPath. I'm going to do the exact same thing. And instead I'm going to click on XPath, edit, description here. And for now, just to see if this works, I'm going to do a time.sleep of 1 second. So now double check, we are calling this. It shows up twice, it gets called there, defined there. And we'll see if this works. Now, assuming I didn't mess something up, I think this should work. I actually did this a little bit earlier, but make sure I didn't mess anything up. Let's give it a try. Yes, I saw like the cursor went to the description field for a split second there, or 2 seconds. So that did work. So that's good. So now we got to actually copy the text. And if you look at I actually already manually copied the text in one of my other videos. So as soon as this finishes up here, it's going to go back to the main content page, and you'll see it's kind of already here in this video. And I made it my in the settings you can add it as a template, and that's good and all, but I want to try to, like I said, I want to automate this whole process. And when I upload from my PS5, all I have to do is run the script, and it'll get all that, it'll get the description that it missed from, because I'm uploading from my PS5. So let me close out of this. Let's pause for a second. This is the pausing point. All right. All right, so I'm going to go in Chrome here, and I'm going to see how we actually copy from a file. I think I've done it a few times before, but we'll just use ChatGPT, make it a little bit faster. I guess let me log in, or I'm already logged in. All right. And we're going to do, how do I get the full content of a text file, a string, Python. All right, so that seems pretty simple enough. So within our function here, like I said, eventually I'm going to add some, some parameters so we don't always have to do this. But see, so we clicked on this button, and now we want to open a file. It's going to be called, I think it should look in the same directory, so I think this should work. Jesus. So we're going to type in description here, .txt, and then as a file. Why does it not like that? So we're not using that. So now if we want to write to it, I might have to see how to actually write to this element. I don't think I've done that yet, so I'd have to look up to see how that's done. So if we're using this is using Selenium. So let me look that up real quick as well, so we can actually use it. Using Python with Selenium, I think that's how you spell that, I-U-M. How do we insert text, insert a string into the element, let's say. So we have to get the element, we can clear any existing text, and then send keys. We're not going to press enter. All right. So let me see if I'm using this function already. Find element. What is that? X. Yeah, we will try to see if we can do it this way. I don't want to get into the whole, like, if it doesn't find it. I mean, I'll improve it a little bit later on, but let's just try to see if we can just find, get it to work here. So we are in right here. This is going to be the description field. Just call it text field. Driver.find element. And instead, it's going to be basically that's this right here. Let's just assume that we found it, and then in ChatGPT it says to call. I mean, we can clear it. So there's a clear function. Shouldn't really have to, but although if I think it would be good to clear it, because if I had to update the like I wanted to update my description to something else, and I'm like overwriting videos, it'd be a good idea to clear what's in there, obviously. And then you're going to just write the full. Send keys sounds a little weird. It sounds like I'm typing at that point, but it may. We'll just see if this works. So from the text field, send keys, and we're not sending that. We're going to send the string that we got called content. So now we're actually using content. Why is that red? I don't know why it's red. Expected indented block. That's what? It's not indented? That's one of the things with Python is you gotta make sure things are lined up. Alright, let's just see what happens here. I'll keep this sleeping here for now. It's not really needed. I'm gonna do it with one instead, make it simpler. That might actually be an error. I might have to make some modifications there. ChatGPT is not always gonna be right, and that may have to be inside like some type of block maybe. Actually, with open, that's the problem, is I need to indent. Did it just already complain? Yeah, I think this has to be, because it's the with open. Now I don't know if that would mean all the rest, because we're using the content. Do we tab over all these? Let's try it that way. It's kind of like you don't have a whole bunch of like parentheses and things like that in Python. So you got to make sure things are tabbed over over correctly. So it's running this time, so that's a good sign. So let's see if it actually writes the description. Didn't do anything. All right, let's see. Did it complain? I might not have like found it correctly. Oh God. What? This does not seem very helpful. Oh, here we go. Chrome only supports characters in the BMP. Alright, so let's just look up what that is. Maybe it's not in like the right format for the text file, and hopefully I can just change that. Actually, I realized maybe it doesn't matter as I'm opening it from a different workspace. Most of the time I can't have two Chromes running. Like if I didn't stop my previous Python script from running, I can't run another one. But I think because this is a separate, this is from my username, it's fine. What does this error mean? The text you're trying to send to a web content element contains Unicode characters outside the BMP, basic multilingual plane, and Chrome driver can't handle those directly. Characters outside that range also include, oh damn it, so it doesn't let me send the emojis and all. I actually use ChatGPT to get my description. I kind of like the emojis. How to fix it? You have three main options: remove or replace emojis if you don't need them. Use JavaScript to insert text instead. You can try that. Alright, so we're not going to do the less common solution there. Let's try to see if we can send JavaScript instead. So that looked like, I was questioning that the send keys command, but I mean obviously there's a different reason for it there. So the element is going to be you. The text is going to be the content. So this is good. We're getting through some debugging. And it's like 4 hours later, oh, I got it working. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Let's see if it works right here. All right, click on that description. It didn't work. It didn't fail, but it just didn't do anything. So it didn't die in a pile there, but it clearly didn't write the description. But this is the fun and rewarding part about programming. It can be frustrating, but then when it works, it feels really good. But I think the main reason why it obviously doesn't work right now, and I guess just to prove it out in the one way. So first I got to see eventually I got to see why the JavaScript didn't work, but let's go back to VS Code. Let's stop this. And I just want to do one thing before I guess take a little break here. Is we're going to go back to what we were doing, which is the initial way of doing it. So scroll up a little, which is the send keys command. And I'm just going to send like just some random text just to see if it works. And yeah, I think it should work, but sometimes you just want to do it anyway. I really want to keep that on the emojis, even though it's like I never do emojis, but ChatGPT set me up with a pretty cool looking description that I really want to try to use that. And we'll be so creative, and we won't even change that. So it's just going to write my username to the text field, see if it saves and all that, and then I'll delete it. So we're clearing it, sending the keys, we're not actually using the content, and we're just going to see if this works. I feel like I forgot something, but I think it's good. So this would be as if it didn't have the emojis, would it have just worked, much earlier on here. Yep. And you see the save button is now active because I changed something with the in this edit page, because otherwise I would be clicking like the undo or just going back. So now I actually saved that as my username, and it's still there. All right. All right, another break. I'm gonna stop recording. All right, after some back and forth with ChatGPT, it telling me something's going to work this way, it's not going to quite work. I finally got a way that it does work. Okay, so the biggest thing was the in my description from ChatGPT, I got a lot of emojis, and I think that makes the description look a little cooler. You got the nice little basketball emoji, you got the thumbs up, you got a muscle, whatever. I don't know why that one's there, but then the little pointer thing. So you got some cool, bell notification, that type of stuff. And I wanted to have those in the video, or in the description. So now if we go back, we can see I use this library called Paperclip. So you're just going to import that, and up here I had to run this pip install Paperclip, like it's imported. And essentially what it does now is it's going to click on the description box. It's going to open the file that I showed you over here. Then we're going to do like a copy and paste. So it's going to copy it to the clipboard. Then we're going to find the outer container. So this is getting the edit description button again, getting that field. And then it's going to click on it, sleep for half a second, paste it, another sleep. I don't know if all this is necessary, but I'm going to run this and show you how it works. And so let's see. So I'm just going to we'll do 3 videos. So we'll see it happening, a few times. Yes, you'll see that's the first thing it does after it edits. Goes to the edit video. It's going to copy and paste that large description in there. Shows up there. Does everything else. Edits the end screens. Like I said, I already had the end screen set for these videos. So you're basically just writing the same thing again, but then it saves it correctly. You'll see it showing up there. Go to the next video, do the same thing. And this is the time where, like I said, I normally will like walk off and like make my dinner or something like that. Like after I'm done playing for a little while. And if I upload 5 clips, it's not much, but like when I'm playing the rec center games on Saturdays, that can be pretty crazy where I upload a lot of funny moments. I have the live stream going on as well, but I like to kind of be able to revisit some of these moments. So I upload a ton of clips. I have 25 clips or so. So it's going to be useful to be able to just have this description for every one of those. All right, that should be it. So now we see, well, actually 4 videos. I manually added this one, and then I had it automatically added to these 3. But that's going to be the end of my video here. Like I said, I may end up adding like a parameter that you can pass in if you don't want to update the description, which I think makes sense. But for now, I think this is good. And if you liked my video and want to see more of my content, like and subscribe to my channel, and also check out stem cell game clips and stem cell skate. And I'll see everybody later.